Hello, everyone. It's Hyde in the Philippines. Thank you for joining me. I'm sorry I didn't post a video last Sunday, but we have weather conditions here that were perfect to button everything up before winter. So I did that, and I'm glad I did because this weekend is just terrible. Anyway, back to you. Today, I want to talk to you about dreams. We all have them. Most of them at night while we're sleeping. They can be fantastical, in living color. You can fly, you can do all kinds of amazing and or scary things, and scary things can happen to you. But I don't really want to talk about that. What I want to talk about is my waking dreams, the dreams I have during the daytime when I'm out and about, usually at work. Everybody does it. We're at work, we let our imaginations go. And but it's prevalent to the times we're in. You know what I'm saying? So, like as a little kid, you have little kid dreams. You want to dream. You dream about, being a this or that, and it's cute, and everybody's like, "Oh, he wants to be an astronaut. How cute!" But those dreams are fleeting because you're a little kid. And then you move up the dream spectrum. And people just start throwing coercive dreams, I call them, onto you. You're supposed to go to this school, get this job, marry this girl, drive this car, have this house. This is the life that, these are dreams that people thrust upon you, even if they're not yours. And you'll entertain these and with the keep up with the Joneses thoughts, like, oh, you want to have this house. You can dream about those things if you want to, but most of those don't come true either. They're the imaginary dreams that you have in your daytime life and when you try to translate it into reality, they're usually a little different. We all know that. So there's attainable dreams, as you're growing up, you want a nice truck, or you want a nice this or that, and you achieve that goal and you get that. I've always wanted to have a very nice motorcycle. I have one. It's a beautiful Harley. It's chromed out beyond compare. It's a dream of mine that I always have, and I made it come true. Now, like I said, it's your dreams are really these daydreams are relative to the moments you're living in. And currently I'm in the retirement end of my life. So when I daydream, I daydream about my finish line, how I'm going to end up. And I reckon most of y'all are doing the same thing. You're dreaming about how you're going to end up, where you're going to be, and how you'd like it to be. If you get to set the rules and get get to do as you please. Now, for probably 25, 30 years, I myself have been talking about retiring in Tennessee, up in the mountains. Somewhere, a little half acre of land with a one bedroom cabin, just for myself and some old dog. And, maybe I'd get lucky. Some old woman would, want to shack up with me, I guess you'd say. But, in that dream, it was a sustainable living type thing. And I don't mean off the grid, because I'm not down with being off the grid. I like the grid. The grid is my friend. You can have that off the grid. I mean, I like a lot of things about that, but I like the grid anyway. In that dream, I have this little half acre of land, and I've got a garden, and I can, and all these things I've been sort of training myself to do according to this Tennessee dream that I've always had. A little, just my own little place where I could grow and produce and live as cheaply as possible, but live well. That was always the dream, and I don't, I twisted it and shaped it to fit how I could do it. However, due to the way things are, there is no way that I would be able to achieve that dream without selling everything I own and needing some kind of help. And if you and which that just didn't seem feasible anymore. That dream was just not feasible, because without some kind of help, that was just something I'm gonna have to go with. Got me through the years of welding, countless hours of welding, and you know having to believe that somewhere in the future my life wasn't gonna suck. And I guess if you're watching this, that's what you're hoping. At the finish line, your life isn't gonna suck. Well, that's what I'm shooting for. But like I said, that Tennessee dream, I had to let go. I mean, and it hurt. It hurt me because I mean, I'd ran so many scenarios through that in my mind. I, I just, I was sure that that was what was going to happen, but it's not. Now, lucky for me, it kicked me down for a minute, but I stumbled onto a new dream. I went over to the Philippines and I got these fangs fixed, and I got to looking around, and I was like, man, this is kind of like affordable. I mean, as far as I believe I could afford a lifestyle over here, I could translate that Tennessee dream to a Philippine dream, which is far more affordable than the Tennessee dream. I won't have to sell everything I own. I could probably just leave my house here and have it as a rental property. However, that's what I that's what I discovered. That after being over there and living there, I lived there for 4 months. I mean, a good 4 months, and and I thrived there. My life was far better than it had ever been in quite some time. And people can see the difference in me when I'm here. I'm not a grumpy old shit anymore. There's a light in my life, and it has something to do with the Philippines, but also has something to do with the girl I met over there. I met a beautiful girl. Her name is Gladys, and she has a part of the dream that I just wouldn't allow myself to have. That I would have a companion in my later on. I thought my companion would be a couple dogs or something like that, not a beautiful young girl that who loves me and can't fake that fact. Anyway, so it's totally affordable to go to the Philippines and have a piece of property, that half acre of land. It's 100%. Uh, I could have I've trained myself throughout the years for this Tennessee thing that I thought was going to happen, but I learned how to can. I worked in a slaughterhouse for a year. I've had chickens. I'm a great gardener. I've been gardening, most of my life. I love to cook, and I like to forage. And these are all things that I could do all year long in the Philippines, whereas in Tennessee it would be seasonal. But once again, and I'm not delusional. I'd have to change with the seasons in the Philippines as well. However, I could garden all year round. Rainy season, that type of things. Yeah, I can go fishing. It's and catch fish. I'm not delusional. I'm not trying to catch like the biggest fish. I would just like to catch a few small fish, that Gladys and I could eat at the end of the day. All right, now, that's where I spend my days now thinking about my Philippine dream, and how I can make that happen, and it's 100% feasible. I can do it. It's not I won't have to go out on a limb. I won't have to gamble with scared money. You should never gamble with scared money. You just shouldn't do it. And I don't have any fear about this. So if you're still paying attention till now, I mean, I'm going to sort of tell you how my dream perpetuates through the day. I add and change to it, but here it goes. I want to pull up to my half acre, my little 400 square meters. I think that's close to a half acre of land. If I'm wrong, anyway, pull up to my little half acre of land, and it's going to have a fence around it, like my buddy Bruce has got at his place, with this, like this, with the wrought iron, with the sliding gate like this that you could drive a couple trucks through, and then I'll be able to pull up on my property, and from my property, I'm going to see my little house. It's going to be a small little house with the black glass windows, a 2-bedroom house with a decent sized living room, the most modest, you could call it, kitchen you ever saw, and 2 bedrooms, like a master bedroom for Gladys and I, and a guest room for when we do have guests, a small guest room for people to come over, but not guesty enough to where they're going, oh, I'd like to stay here. You can stay a little while, but then hit it. Okay, but also, from the road, I'll be able to see my dirty kitchen. I want one of them dirty kitchens, but I want a nicer one, dirty but nice. It's going to have a pizza oven. I'm going to tell you right now. My little place is going to have a pizza oven because I want to make some pizza. I've had pizza in the Philippines. I haven't had a really good pizza in the Philippines. I've had an okay pizza in the Philippines, but not a good one. Now, on this property, also, I'd like to have fruit trees. And you can have fruit. There's fruit in the Philippines. They have a season for it on the Bantayan marketplace. I mean, there's just on my property. I'd like to have some mangoes, of course, because I'm in love with them mangoes. I'd like to make wine out of some mangoes. Um, some them miniature coconut trees. I want to have some of those. Um, there's just so many. I want to have every fruit that you can grow in the Philippines, every fruit tree that's possible. I'd like to have one because I'd like to, can some jam. Nobody cans any jam over there. I've never seen, and they've got so much fresh fruit. Anyway, I'd also like to have a couple hundred chickens on the back of the property. I'm going to do like Jay did, but a couple hundred more. That way, my girl Gladys has got her own business. She's got an egg business of her own, so she's got her own freaking money. And then somewhere off to this way is going to be some pigs. But I don't want a bunch of pigs. I only want to have like one, and then we're going to have a party, and after I kill that one, we'll go get another one. So maybe a couple a year, but I want to have the place to do it. Now, from the piggery, you'll be able to see my garden, which I'll be able to garden all year round. I know there's a rainy season, so I'm going to have to adapt to that, and I don't know really what that entails, but I'm dying to learn, and I can bring some of my wisdom on how to keep vegetables and stuff like that, and can and would and just eating freshly out of the garden every day would be fantastic, and that's possible in the Philippines. Now, that's just how I've got it shaped at this point. That's the rough draft of it. You know what I'm saying? I want to go fishing. I want to go crabbing. I want to, I don't want to take more than I can eat. It's not going to be something like that. Just enough for me and Gladys to, not have to go to the market every day. And everyone, like I said, every once in a while I want to go out and forage. I don't want to take away, and I'm sure we're going to have to spend a lot of money at the wet market because I bet I'm a terrible fisherman in the Philippines, but we'll learn how. All right, well, here pretty soon, I'm gonna head over there to the Philippines, and I'm gonna make a down payment. I'm gonna make a down payment on that dream. You hear me, Gladys? You hear me, girl? All right. This has been Hiding in the Philippines. I'm dreaming. Y'all be as good as you can. Ciao.